guys, so I really just wanted to sit down and give you guys a first trimester recap and really share, how I've been feeling in my first trimester and some of the big milestones that we've had, and also share my must-haves for the first trimester, like things that have just made my life easier or have made it easier. If you don't know who I am Stephanie Case. I'm currently 14 weeks pregnant, although when this video goes live, I'll be 15 weeks. So I wrapped up my first trimester in the past couple of weeks, which is just crazy to think about that now I'm like in the second trimester, which is just kind of wild. But basically, yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys like how it's been, what my experience is like, and then also share some things that I think will be really helpful if you're also in the first trimester, or you just found out you're pregnant and you're trying to figure out anything that you might need. So let's talk about a little recap about how I've been feeling. So basically, we found out we were pregnant, which I'm gonna share that whole story soon too, but we found out we were pregnant pretty early on. Like I hadn't even missed my period yet. And it was partially because we knew that was a possibility that month. But we also, that whole week, I felt a little off. And I'm someone who's very like aware of my body, and like when something is off, like I just know. And that week I started feeling a little bit weird. Like I felt a little bit extra queasy all of a sudden. My sense of smell was super strong. Like I remember even sitting outside in my in-laws' backyard, and I could smell like the greenery and the grass, and like just sitting on their patio, and I was like, this is a little weird. And just like other things, like feeling super bloated. I would get bloated easily if I ate, like depending on what I ate that day before or that day. But I kept waking up super bloated, even though like my diet had been pretty good that week. And so there's just a few things that I was like, and it almost felt like I was going to start my period in other ways. I started peeing a lot. My chest was really sore. I was getting more tired, like just some things throughout that week. And so technically this would have been like the first week. Like I tested on the day that we could have found out, like the first day, which it's even very unusual, even if you are pregnant, for it to even be positive. So I wasn't really expecting that. But yeah, it was positive. So we found out pretty early on. And since then, I would say the first month after that, so up until maybe week 7 or 8, my symptoms were pretty much non-existent. Like I said, like I felt a little off, but I'm also someone who's very aware if something is off, and it wasn't something where like I felt super sick or anything like that. I would definitely say around week 8 is when it started to kick in a little bit more, and I definitely am super grateful though. Like I was not sick in bed all the time. I wasn't throwing up all the time. It was more just feeling nauseous all the time for a good like 3 to 4 weeks. Around week like 13 is when I really started to see my nausea wear off, and to really like before that, in the weeks like around 8 to 12, it was like I felt nauseous all the time, and nothing I did really helped a whole lot. Like there were things that could help alleviate it very temporarily, but even like how much I ate or eating was another thing that was really hard. I had really strong food aversions, and even towards the end of that spurt, like around week 12 is when I threw up a few times that week. It was really the only time I threw up, and it was all triggered by a strong smell. And so that was really interesting. I definitely haven't had any food cravings. I get a lot of questions about that. It's more like, honestly, the biggest thing has just been food aversions. Like for a while, all I wanted was super bland food. I didn't want anything with strong spices. I didn't want anything too crazy. And I also was very sensitive to like junk food and sugar and just like really heavy food, which is kind of true for me in general. Don't get me wrong, I love to indulge in some good sweets and, or go to Starbucks and get a chai latte or have some chocolate, but we don't really keep a ton of junk food in the house, and I don't eat a ton of, like, it wasn't incorporated into my diet, like when it comes to like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and things like that. And so I just found that I was even more sensitive to that. That also helped to trigger when I would feel super nauseous, is when I had Like one time I ate a whole bag of Sun Chips because it sounded really, really good, and I did not feel great afterwards. So yeah, that's been really interesting. I think I said this earlier, I've been going to the bathroom a lot. I did feel super tired for a few weeks. I definitely have noticed though, like, because now I'm in week 14, in the past like week and a half, nausea has worn off a lot, and I definitely feel like I have more energy. Although the past couple of days I felt super tired, so it definitely goes up and down. It's not like a set in stone, like this is how it is. But emotionally, on that side of things, overall I felt really good. And again, just really grateful that I'm not throwing up every day, that I'm able to keep food down, even though like I would feel really nauseous a lot. I am super grateful that it wasn't like it didn't completely knock me out, and I was even able to, I own my own business, and I was able to do so much, and we had a huge launch in my business all during my first trimester. And so it's kind of crazy that like I was still able to do that, and I'm super grateful for the flexibility of having a business, because there definitely were days where I was just in bed all day and I was like, nothing's gonna happen today. So yeah, so that was like super awesome, just being able to have that flexibility within that. It did make it more difficult. Like on the days I felt great, I felt like I had so much work to catch up on, but overall it was still really good. And also just a huge learning curve of learning to give myself lots of grace when on the days when I don't feel super productive, and that's totally okay, that I don't need to be super productive. Like resting is productive in a lot of ways, because especially because I'm growing a human and like I need lots of rest. And so that has been something that I always knew, but I feel like especially with just the first trimester and how sick and tired I would feel sometimes, that I definitely learned to give myself even more grace. But again, I feel really grateful that I definitely could have been way more sick, and I know women who have been way more sick and have experienced a first trimester that was just horrible, or even past the first trimester. So super grateful that I'm already turning a curve there. And something that has helped a lot is when we met with our midwife, she recommended making it more of a priority to be eating more often, at least every 2 hours, even if it's like smaller portions. And also she gave me a book, which I'm going to talk about here in a little bit, that has been helping me a lot. And so I think that also helped. I noticed a huge difference when I made eating, because I was making eating a priority in the sense of like making sure I was eating, but I wasn't eating at least every 2 hours, and probably letting my stomach get too empty, and also just changing out like what foods I am eating that won't make me nauseous. So those things have really helped me. So some big milestones in this trimester. So obviously, one, finding out we're pregnant. Like I said, we found out really early on. Technically, I was only 10 days pregnant, which is just, again, the first day you absolutely like could even find out, and even then, like a lot of times it won't show a positive test. And so yeah, so that was like, I almost wasn't expecting it, but I did film it just in case, because I had a feeling. And so we have it all on video, which that video is going to go up, I think, in 2 weeks after you see this one. That's going to be the next one that we post on here. So keep an eye out for that. Obviously, finding out ourselves was super exciting. We also obviously telling friends and family throughout the first trimester. We told our immediate families pretty quickly. We're really close with Michael's family, and we did tell them like literally, okay, this is what happened. Like I found out I was pregnant Friday morning, and then Michael was leaving to go on a backpacking trip, but I was going to hang out with his family all day. And so I had to keep that secret in all day long until he came back the next day, and then we could go over there and tell them. It was not fun having to keep that secret, but it was really fun. So we told them very quickly, because I was like, there's no way, I can't keep a secret very easily if I really, really, really want to share it. I'm good at keeping secrets if I have to, but it's not a secret that I just wanted to keep. So we told his family like literally the day after, because we hang out with them a lot. And then we told my family pretty soon after that. We told some friends, like as we would see friends and hang out with them, we would tell them in person. And so that was really fun, just getting to like share that and almost like experience that with our friends and family, especially because we are the first grandbaby on both sides. So Michael and I are both the oldest in our families, and we're currently the only ones that are married. So we, yeah, so it's gonna be the first grandchild, like all around, which is just super fun. Another big milestone was also sharing on social media, and we'll actually have linked down below the announcement video that we made. It's also on this channel, so if you want to watch that, if you're curious what that video was like, that was the video I shared like on Facebook and on Instagram. I am a business owner, and I do have a platform, especially primarily on Instagram and YouTube, and so it was really fun just getting to share like with my audience, like basically what had been happening the past couple of months. And it was honestly really hard to keep that secret, especially on those days when I just did not feel great. And I definitely, like, I know for myself, like, I wasn't posting as much, and yet I couldn't share exactly why. I don't think anyone really noticed. Again, it's like you notice more than other people do, but that was just kind of funny. Like, I don't know. It's so nice to finally like have it out there. So if I do have days where I just can't show up, like I can be honest about that, or even just sharing like about my pregnancy as I'm going through it. I'm super excited about that. And it's been fun to like bring people along in that. So last big milestone, we are planning for a home birth with a certified professional midwife and a doula, which we are very excited about. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the book that really like sparked that idea, but essentially just for us, like for one, being really thankful, like I am currently a low risk pregnancy. I don't have any reason that I probably will become high risk, and so that was one reason. And then also two, just the goals that I have for my birth and like what I immediately knew what I wanted it to look like before I got pregnant. I knew nothing about birth really, but all I knew is that I wanted it to be super natural, like not have pain meds or be induced or things like that, or even have like a lot of pressure to do that. And I know that's an experience a lot of people have, and I just knew that that's not what I wanted, but I didn't know until I got pregnant that that is super common. And I didn't know what I didn't know because I don't know anything about birth or pregnancy. Or now I feel like once I got pregnant, I did so much research on birth and everything. So we're planning on a home birth, which I'm really grateful for. We found a great midwife, and we're also going to work with a doula, and I'm also talking with a friend about doing a birth video, which will be really fun. Yeah, I'm super grateful that we're able to do that. And yeah, just thinking about like what I like the outcome I wanted with my birth and how I wanted it to go. My best bet for having that happen was having a home birth. And also, after doing a lot of research, I'm finding out that home births are actually a lot safer than we typically believe, especially here. I know I have people who follow me like all over the world, but here in the US, it's definitely not as common. But there was a huge study done on home births that were planned home births, so home births that didn't just like sporadically happen, and that had a midwife present, and the outcomes were generally the same as going to the hospital. And in fact, in a lot of ways, they were a lot better in the sense of, obviously, you have very, very, very low rates of C-sections. You aren't being typically being induced. You know, there's not a lot of interventions or things like that, which can lead to a lot better outcomes in a lot of ways, because every single one of those things, while they can be beneficial, you know, and obviously there are, I'm super grateful for just like doctors and hospitals, and there are women who like, we need those people for certain types of pregnancies, right? But for what I wanted, we just know like a home birth is the route we want to go. We're just super excited to be able to plan for that. And so I guess I'll move into now. So all of the must-haves that I would say. So if you're someone who is in your first trimester, or if you are just found out you're pregnant, or maybe you're wanting to become pregnant, just curious like what has helped me, here are some of the things that I've really loved during my pregnancy so far. So like I mentioned earlier, there's a book that I read that really sparked just doing more research on home birth and deciding if that was right for us and what we wanted to do. And the book that I read is called Mama Natural. And honestly, I feel like every single person who's pregnant should get this book. And I don't want you to look at it being a natural book and for it to deter you. I even remember when I first got pregnant, someone recommended this book, and I was reading the reviews, and I'm like, is this just gonna be some sort of like crazy hippie book that I'm just gonna be like, this is just not, I don't know. But I got it anyway, and I will say that I don't think this book is such a good resource, no matter if you want to have a home birth, a birth center birth, if you want to have a hospital birth. Like, it's so non-judgmental in the sense of like, she just lays out the facts and the options for you so that you can do more research on your own, or that you're a little more educated on some of the things that do happen in a hospital birth, or some of the things or benefits of a home birth or a birth center birth. So I would highly recommend this. It's not a book that's like, you have to have a home birth and here's like all the things with that, or, you know, natural everything. Like, it's just such a good comprehensive resource for laying out. I know she has an online course too, which I'm going to talk about at the end, that I am wanting to take, but yeah, I would highly recommend. So it's called The Mama Natural Week by Week Guide to Pregnancy and Childbirth by Genevieve Howland. So we'll have this linked down below if you're interested in grabbing it. But even if you're just like thinking about getting pregnant or starting a family or wanting to learn more about like just, you know, different things in pregnancy, this book has been amazing. Like, if I could have if there's one book every pregnant woman I feel like should have, I feel like it should be this book, because it just opened my eyes to so many things that if you're not in that, like if you don't know anything about birth, then this will just give you so much insight. And I'm someone too who haven't had a lot of like close family members or friends really, you know, go through pregnancy. I had one friend recently, but besides that, like I haven't seen a lot of people like close to me become pregnant, go through birth, like all of those things. And so this has been really, really, really helpful for me. I feel like I'm talking about it for a while, but it's because I really, really, really love it. And I just realized I need to read the week for this week. So it's super easy to read. You can read like week by week, and I just love it. So if you are pregnant, highly recommend this. Don't let the fact that people are saying it's super hippie online deter you from getting it, because in my opinion, it's not super hippie. And she still talks about all of the different things with all the different kinds of births, and then in pregnancy, just like general things to know that are great for supporting your pregnancy naturally, because there's really a lot more you can do than you probably think that you can do to even avoid, you know, becoming high risk later in your pregnancy. So that book is amazing. Highly recommend that book. Another book that I am still reading through, I'm actually only a couple of chapters into it, but it's called Real Food for Pregnancy, and it's all about prenatal nutrition. And this book was actually recommended to me by our midwife after our last appointment, when we were talking about how nauseous I felt and how hard it was for me to eat and all of those things, but I was starting to come out of it, and more foods were sounding good to me. So she recommended this book. It just gives you so much information on basically supporting your baby through the foods that you're eating. And like I said, I don't typically eat a ton of junk food anyway, or processed food, but this is just, it has made me learn so much about just how important like protein is in your pregnancy, and how not important carbs are, even if you think carbs are important, and the science behind that. And there's so much research that backs up what she talks about in this book. And we'll have this book linked down below too. But I think one thing, at least that I have realized, is that it's easy to take a prenatal and think that, oh, you're just getting all the nutrients that you need, but there really is so much that you need that you can get in your food. And that was actually one thing that spurred on like really reading through this and taking it seriously, is because my prenatals were triggering my nausea, and that's when it started triggering me throwing up. And so I've been taking a break from prenatals with the guidance of my midwife, and I, just because like I wasn't even being able to keep them down, I tried multiple ones, and instead focusing on and like, you know, what she was sharing, like if you're doing a good job of eating good food, you're more than likely getting most of what you need. And of course there's always ways that I can improve. That's why that I'm continuing to read it and continuing to implement. And I just realized I've been talking for 20 minutes, so I probably need to go a little bit faster. But anyways, this book, really good. Really excited to keep reading it. And just while we're talking about like nutrition, obviously I'm not anything medical. I'm not giving medical advice or anything on the book or even this, but one thing that the Mama Natural book also goes over is how important a vitamin, like a whole food vitamin, is if you are taking a prenatal. The prenatal that I was taking was the Baby and Me prenatals, and like I said, I'm not currently on them, but they also have But there's a lot of options out there when it comes to a whole food vitamin and the different things that you could take. But that is something that is really important, just because there are certain nutrients that it's a lot better to get the whole food sourced version of versus the synthetic version for different reasons. There's a lot of research to back that up. She talks about it in the book. Now we're getting to the more of the like cute, fun, I not like it's not cute, like cute, but the more fun things that have helped me. So what are the things that I use like on a day-to-day basis being pregnant? So number one is this, my Yeti mug. And Michael actually got this for me probably in the past year for like my birthday or Christmas or something. I think it was my birthday because I really wanted one. And then I never used it. And then I realized, so he had actually gotten me a Yeti mug that has like this straw, and we'll link both of these below. I've actually found them on Amazon. And it's the best thing ever because one, ever since getting pregnant, I don't know, I'm really picky about like taste in my mouth or taste sitting in my mouth, and iced water is the best thing ever. Like it's hard for me to drink water that's not cold. And so what's nice about this is I can put ice in it, put water in it, and it will keep it cold for a very long time. It's also pretty big, but it's not so big that I can't bring this in the car, and it fits in my cup holder, which is really nice. And it's also not glass because I had a glass one and then I broke the glass straw that was in it. Kind of dumb that I merged those two together, but I realized that this is way nicer because I can bring it everywhere and not worry about like something breaking, and it's still not just like a plastic bottle. So yes, this thing's amazing because getting lots of fluids is really important. Something that's been very difficult for me, especially in the first trimester, and just like having those strong food aversions and getting nauseous easily. Drinking too much water at a time would help like make me more nauseous, but having the straw helps a lot, and just being able to take this everywhere with me. So if you need a good like water, this is I think 30 or 32 ounces, so it holds a pretty good amount. And so my goal right now is I try to get down at least one of these. For me, that's really good, if not more than that. So I got one of those. The next thing that I've been using is I really love Primally Pure. I've been using them for a good year now, just for general, like I use them for deodorant, you know, for washing my face toner, and things like that. But they do have some things that I've been using mainly for my belly right now to help possibly prevent stretch marks. I'm not really honestly that concerned about it. I'm prone to stretch marks anyway, I already know that, but can't be hurt to be proactive, right? And so I have a few different things got from them. Not really sure which one I might stick with. I kind of like having a few options. So I got their body butter. It's the eucalyptus. Let's see if this will focus here. I got the eucalyptus and lavender body butter. This smells amazing. Love it. And then I also got the baby oil. So this is also really nice, just for like rubbing all over your belly. It smells really good. It's oil. It's very hydrating. And then I also got the baby balm. This one's a lot more, I would say, thick and hydrating than the other two, and probably not really meant to rub like all over your belly. It's more meant for like dry or irritated skin, but I don't know. I kind of like how it's super hydrating, so I like being able to swap through. I just like every time I shower every day, I swap through one of these, and I will use this like on my belly and on my chest, and they just all smell really good. So if you're interested in any of these, we'll have these linked down below as well. We'll have Primally Pure actually have a coupon code. I believe it's let me double check. It's Steph Case for 10% off. So if you're interested in that, you can use that discount code to get a discount on their products. I seriously love them. Like I genuinely use their products all the time. They're amazing. Okay, and the next thing that has helped me a lot is essential oils. And I don't go crazy with essential oils, but the number one that has helped me is peppermint oil. And actually don't have it with me at this current moment. I think I left it in the car. I think I took it with me in the car last. And I haven't really felt like I needed it as much lately because I haven't felt as nauseous. But that helped me so much. Like when I felt so nauseous and just needed something to help alleviate, what I would do is just open the bottle and sit there and smell it for a little bit. And that just helped to like really, I don't know, it really truly did help. Like I would stop feeling as nauseous, and I would just like have that sitting next to me while I worked or things. You could also diffuse it, but it made me nervous to diffuse it just in case it started making me feel a little bit sick, and it would be harder, like I'd have to turn it off and get it away, and the smell will still be in the room and everything. So I don't know. So I haven't been diffusing it as much, but yeah, so I have peppermint, and then I also have these two out because, especially recently, I've been loving diffusing these because I also, again, I'm very sensitive to smell, and so these are nice. They're just super relaxing. I've always loved lavender, just in general, like diffusing it and stuff, but also the eucalyptus, which doesn't surprise me because that body butter is lavender and eucalyptus, and I love it. So yes, so I love these essential oils, and again, the peppermint one has helped me a lot with just nausea, and I don't apply it anywhere on my body, but I just use it to smell, and that alone just helped me so much. So I also have a link below to the essential oils I use. I get my oils from Rocky Mountain Oils, and so if you want to check them out, the link will be down in the description. And then the next few things I want to talk about. So number one is a podcast that I've been loving. It's called Pregnancy and Birth Made Easy by My Essential Birth. And I actually recently connected with her because I was randomly gifted their course that I have been wanting for a while, and turns out that she also is connected with me and like follows me and I follow her, and it was just a really cool like, oh, like we know each other kind of thing. Yeah, I've been loving that podcast. Again, the reason I love it is because, like the Mama Natural book, it's very good at just laying out all your options, giving you the facts about things, all things related to pregnancy, birth, even like new baby, having a newborn baby. And so that's the podcast. And I just love like their personalities and like how easy it is to listen to. And so, yeah, so we'll have that podcast linked below. The podcast is completely free to listen to, and I personally love it. Another thing I wanted to mention is this Free People set, which I don't know if I can show you. And I could try to show you kind of what my bump is right now. I feel like it still just feels like I'm super bloated a lot. So it's like that. I don't know. Like I feel like it's more like in the evening, especially after I've eaten. But it definitely, like I wake up feeling like, oh, I've got a like big bloat going on. But I'm thinking in the next few weeks, it'll probably start to feel a little bit more like a bump. But yeah, so anyways, this set is amazing. I actually bought it before I got pregnant, and it is so comfortable, especially for me like feeling sick. I just didn't want anything pressed on my belly because that would just add to me feeling nauseous. And so anything comfortable like this, like I've gotten like this is super comfy and super stretchy at the waistband. Like I'm usually a size medium, and I got a small in this just because it runs so big, and it still feels super loose and flowy and big. And so, wait, no, I got it in a medium. Sorry, that's totally wrong. I originally got it in a small. It was a little too tight for me, even not being pregnant. And so I got a medium, which I'm really glad I did now because I can probably wear this throughout most of my pregnancy because it's so soft and also kind of stretchy. And yeah, I just love it. It's definitely an investment, but the quality is just amazing, and again, so comfortable and just so easy to like throw on. So I wanted to share that. I got the color Ivory Heather. The colors and the like what's in stock does come in and out very frequently. So sometimes when you look, there's like one color, and then sometimes there's like 10 different colors in random sizes. So you just kind of have to keep an eye on it if there's like a certain color you want. But yeah, I am obsessed with this set because it's just nice, especially as your belly gets bigger and bigger. I'm sure I'll find it very comfortable because you just don't want to wear anything that's like super, I don't know. And maybe that's just because I still feel nausea off and on. But okay, another thing that I have been loving is this app. Let me show you. So let me see if this will actually show you on here. Yes. Okay, so it's that app with the little pink baby in it. It's called Pregnancy Plus. And so if you search that in your app store, you should be able to add that. I tried a few different apps. Honestly, a lot of them work the same. This has just been my favorite. And my favorite part about it, to be completely honest, most of the like they have like little articles and stuff about your different things you might be thinking about, and honestly most of that I don't read. I think the information in the Mama Natural book and other places like the podcast is way better, but there's a little icon down here that says baby, and when you tap on that you can also tap on baby size, And it's the cutest thing because it will tell you like what size your baby is compared to like a different fruit, or you can tap on this and you can do fruit, animal, or sweets. And so it's just really cute, especially because like I've been trying to, which I need to do the picture this week because I didn't do it last week, but I've been trying to take pictures at least every like 2 or 3 weeks with a different object that is like the size of our baby. And so that's been really fun to do. And that app is just fun to like look and see how big. And then I can, a lot of times like there was one week, like when we went to tell Michael's grandma that we were pregnant, that week the baby was the size of a blueberry, and so she called it like the little blueberry all week. Or like there was one week it was the size of a cake pop, and so we called it the little cake pop all week. And so that's just been really fun. So yeah, so that is pretty much wraps up my must-haves. Obviously there's a lot more you can get, but I feel like the first trimester, you're just believing that you are pregnant and you're like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. Like, this is crazy. And then, you know, I feel like there's a lot of things you feel like, there's some things that I tried. Like, I know a lot of people recommend like Preggy Pops for nausea. I got them and tried them a couple of times, and honestly, they didn't do anything for me. They just have a bunch of sugar in them. I did it way better just avoiding the foods that made me feel sick. And so yeah, so just a few things that we are planning to do as, you know, we come up on our second trimester is obviously I plan to keep reading this book that is incredible, to keep reading the pregnancy nutrition book and keep implementing that. And I want to watch the essential, the course from My Essential Birth. I want to go through that entire course, maybe go through the Mama Natural course too and grab that. I don't know if I'll grab that this trimester or if I'll wait a little bit. But another thing that we need to do is sign up for childbirth education classes. We definitely want to do some in person, just because I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but this is my first pregnancy. I don't know why I didn't mention that, but so I have not been pregnant before. This is our first child, like. And so we we definitely want to get some education, especially because Michael is a very hands-on learner and likes to learn like in person, like someone telling him what to do. And so we need to do that, which is great. But yes, besides that, just continuing to learn so much, continuing to prepare a lot for a home birth. I feel like when you're, especially with a home birth, like nutrition and taking care of yourself is so important, and so making that a priority from now until the baby comes is just super important. So that's what a big focus is on, at least for me, making sure I'm staying at least somewhat active and eating well and all of those things. And so, and obviously learning a lot because I've never had a baby before. There's just a lot of things that I still have to learn, even though I've learned so much already. But anyways, everything I mentioned in this video will be linked in the description. So if there's anything that I mentioned and you're wondering where the exact link is, all the links will be down below. We have them all gathered and you can click and, you know, find all the links. So if you're curious about where I got anything, everything should be down there. If you have any other questions, feel free. You can connect with me on Instagram at Stephanie Lynn Case. That is where I have my own personal brand and where I share a lot about even just like pregnancy, but also what's going on in my brand and all of those things. And so yeah, feel free to connect with me there. My DMs are completely open if you have any questions about anything that I talked about. And I guess I'll see you guys later, maybe. I don't know. I randomly started this channel because I didn't want to upload all these videos on my main YouTube channel. So if you happen to be like a business owner or a brand, those are the people I really serve over there on my YouTube channel. And so this is more just for like personal videos that we want to upload. Like I have 3 or 4 more I want to upload by the end of this year, just like telling friends, like telling our family those videos, and also us finding out. And then I'll do another trimester recap, our gender reveal, just like fun things like that. And so if that sounds great to you and you want to follow along with like all the pregnancy baby things, then subscribe to this channel too, because that's where I'm really going to give you all of those updates. So thanks you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.